How powerful are banned pre-modern cards? We're going to look at this today. Now remember, just a quick refresher, the pre-modern format. It's all the cards with the old border. I think Scourge and earlier. However, it's actually sandwiched. It's like not revised. Revised does not exist. It's not legal, so no dual lands, no mana vault, none of that stuff. But everything in between, it's all fair game. They do have a ban list, so it's a format that doesn't change. I mean, what it is right now is it is. The only thing that changes is their ban list. And my Mind's Desire is on it. We got blue, 4 generic sorcery. Shuffle your library, then remove the top card of your library from the game. Until end of turn, you may play it as though it were in your hand without paying its mana cost. Oh, and by the way, it's got the most broken... Is this the most broken mechanic of all time, Storm? Or is it Dredge? I mean, at the time, it was just downright busted. You know, since then, we've got, like, more tools in the toolbox to deal with the Storm decks. You could say Dredge is worse. Some might even say it's Initiative. Anyways, it's up there. You know, it's in the top 5. I don't think we're going to be debating that today. So anyway, yeah, Mind's Desire. They just unbanned this in Legacy. I don't even know why they did that. This works so well with, you know, cheap cards, and of course in pre-modern they actually have Mox Diamond. They like to characterize themselves as different from Legacy, but you know, Mox Diamond, no, they're gonna keep that. They're gonna keep Mox Diamond like the Commander players like to keep Soul Ring in their format. That's how it works around here. No one can say no to broken, powerful, 0 mana artifacts, right? Fast mana, it still exists everywhere. Who could say no to fast mana? Hogak Dredge was the worst? Oh god. It's a debate. It's a debate. Now, Liquid Soulfly apparently plays the format. Mind's Desire got banned before it was really let loose, so it's hard to justify the ban. So we'll see what it does in Legacy, because the card pool, there's a lot of overlap. It's a little bit more broken there in the Legacy territory, but we'll see what happens over there. They just unbanned this thing. It's fresh off the ban list. Take a look. It's restricted in Vintage because it's supremely broken, and then it's legal in Legacy. Now, some of you might be asking, well, what does this card do? Well, what doesn't it do? So you play a bunch of spells, ideally very cheap or for free, use fast mana, use rituals, and then you play your Mind's Desire, and then for as many cards as you played, you reveal cards to the top of your library. You can play them without paying their mana cost. So you play more spells, which hit the stack, perhaps more mana, more card draw into another Mind's Desire, which gets even larger because the Storm Cant's even more enormous. I guess I don't know what the win condition is in this format. I don't think it's Grape Shot. I guess it would just be Brain Freeze or something. I'm sure it'll be fine with a restriction. Yeah, I mean, I think we should use more restrictions. We're not restricting things enough. But what if you hit another Mind's Desire off it? That's when things go haywire. It does combo into itself. Or hold on, does it? Hold on. You may remove the top card. Okay, the Storm copies don't get a well, like the problem is the copies of Mind's Desire don't contribute to Storm, but the cards that you did get from Mind's Desire does. So as you play cards from the Mind's Desire, it gets stupid. But remember, Storm cards that go directly on the stack don't contribute to Storm count. That's the rule around here. WinCon is another Mind's Desire. Shuffle your library, then remove. No, you cannot. There's no Thassa's Oracle in this format, Tommy. There's no Thassa's Oracle. I mean, yeah, you'll draw into your entire deck and probably... I'm sure the win condition would be Brain Freeze or something. It is pretty random and requires good cards alongside it. So, yeah, the win con that they're trying to use... One of the win cons they're trying to use in Legacy is High Tide. They're saying it's High Tide back. Of course, there's the iconic High Tide. It's a merfolk. May Svelune and her tides favor you. Traditional merfolk blessing. Well, Sveilun, spoken about way back in 1994. Took some 20, 30 years. Yeah, 30 years for her to come into actual existence. High Tide is a blue instant. Until end of turn, all islands produce an additional blue when tapped for mana. So you can make a bunch of mana. Well, do they have Candelabra of Thanos in pre-modern? Where's the ban list? Or is that too early? That might have been too early. Yeah, okay, it's not on the ban list, but it's probably not legal either, I'm assuming. They make pre-moderns actually not that expensive, even though it does still have some reserve list cards there. Multiple High Tides on the same turn stack, right? Yes, that is correct. You need a lot of islands to make it really work. So anyway, that's one way, that's one theoretical way of breaking Mind's Desire, is through the High Tide mechanic. And if you can somehow untap your lands with Peregrine Drake or something, I don't know. Maybe that's a little too jank. It doesn't seem that bad, though. The so-called value Mind's Desire also looks interesting, where you just use it to go 3-ish cards deep. It's not a bad idea either. Although it sounds too fair to me. Way too fair. Yeah, High Tide does stack. Devastating Dreams, what is that? What are you talking about? As an additional cost to cast Devastating Dreams, discard X cards at random from your hand. Each player sacks X lands. Devastating Dreams deals X damage to each creature. I have no... Wait, you want to play that with Mind's Desire? I guess that could be a win condition. I guess, in addition to just playing a bunch of creatures or something. Until entering be played as though it were in your hand without paying its mana cost. That is just... It's like Omniscience, isn't it? It's like you have Omniscience. Except the card that you can play is just completely random. Is everyone going to ask this question? What if you Mind's Desire into another one? So you don't get the storm count. Like, your storm count doesn't increase. Although the cards that you play off of the Mind's Desire will increase the storm count for the second Mind's Desire. Yeah, it goes big. So anyway, is this a powerful card? Yeah, here's the deal. I think this is a powerful card. I am not sold that... that pre-modern has all the enablers to make this thing go over the top. They do have Mox Diamond, but it's not like... They don't have that many rituals. They do have rituals, but like, as I was told, like in the last episode, like, you know, the red rituals I think are beyond Scourge. So it's tough. It's a tough one. But they do have High Tide. Drago says, it sounds super fun, though. Everyone's very excited for Mind's Desire and Legacy. But anyway, so is it busted? Yeah, it's busted. Probably should be banned. Oh yeah, just in case anyone's curious, I don't play pre-modern. I'm just a spectator from the outside. So, my opinion could be worthless to y'all. Alright, next up we got Mystical Tutor. It's a blue instant. Search your library for an instant. An Interrupt, which is an instant. A mana source. Does that even matter now? I think mana sources back then were just like Dark Ritual. That was considered a mana source. Search your library for an instant or sorcery card revealed and put the card on top. Well, a land is a mana source. What, I can't look up a land anymore? They errated away my land searching abilities. Anyway, I revealed that card to all players. Shelf your library and put the revealed card back on top of it. Just a broken combo enabler. That's it. That's all this is. To the tutor, a poem of sand was of little account, a poem of ivory, priceless. And the card is hard banned in Legacy. I'm telling you, Commander players, Commander is a pretty broken format, even though you only get to play one of each card. You have to play one of all the really broken stuff. All combined, that makes a pretty insane format. The tutors basically mean that you have like 5 copies of every card in your deck. It's restricted in Vintage, so they're not allowed to ban stuff over there. Question! Can you play this instant before you draw during your turn, or do you need another draw effect? Nope! You can do exactly that. Yeah, that is the secret tech, Drago Jessica. Upkeep. Take my turn. Untap my cards. Upkeep. I have effects. And by effects, I mean I'm going to play a spell. Mystical Tutor. To tutor up that juicy, I don't know, mana drain to the top of my deck. Then go to my card, then go to my draw step, draw the card, and boom. You got that card directly into your hand. It is a CEDH stable, absolutely. You know, why wouldn't you play this thing? Bop should count as a Manosaurus, exactly! You know, Amazing Crack Monkey's got the right idea. I wonder, okay, anyone who played back then, was a Manosaurus, could you go get a land? Because I know, like, a long time ago, you could get, like, Dark, like, Ritual, but that was an instant anyway, or I don't know, was it called an Interrupt? Oh, it was called an Interrupt. No, at some point I think they put Manosaurus on this thing. Maybe I'm wrong. No, here we are. There we go. Manosaurus. And it's the same time as Mirage. Ooh. What does this mean? Instants are turning into Manosauruses. Manosaurus is a card type? Well, not anymore. No lands. There's a subtype of instance of the interrupts and others. Just making subtypes of everything for no damn reason. Alright, so you can only get... How many Manosauruses were there? Dark Ritual? Maybe Cabal Ritual? But I think at that point they probably errated this garbage away. Max McCafel says, real thugs play cards in your own upkeep phase. That's right. That's flexing, alright. It was a type of a type! Anyway, we ain't gonna find those types anymore. So, I mean, Mystical Tutor could be played in a fair manner, but like, even then, it just increases your deck's consistency by a lot. The cost to this thing is nothing. It costs a single blue mana at instant speed, which means you can do it on your opponent's turns. Like, you're a blue deck anyway. What's the big deal? You're holding up counter magic. Oh, you didn't find anything to counterspell? Now Mystical Tutor for whatever card you want. Well, instant or sorcery. Stack it on top of your library. You know, and basically sculpt better draws. Very, very... Like, there's basically no cost to this thing. It should have been at sorcery speed. Even then, it would probably still be broken. But the fact that it's instant speed is beyond stupid. David O'Connor giving us some iconic art too. Oh, is this the... yeah, that's the iconic art one. New arts are great too. I mean, you know what? Oh god, these are some wild arts actually. I like this one. Not a fan. You know what? I'm not a Jace fan, to be honest. I'm a little tired of looking at Jace. We need to bring this Mirage girl back. Maybe she's a planeswalker. She's the planeswalker that we didn't know that we needed. Afari Tales? Are you Afari? They gotta bring back some old character from way back yonder and then just make it the main character. Penelope said, we called it Ancestral Tutor because it was all about it was about all we used it for. Same thing in cube drafts. It's funny, the whole pre-modern banned list is just like all the power cube cards. OG art, the only one actually looks tutoring. Taking them books, learning some stuff. That's the whole idea of tutor. It's a tutor, it's about knowledge. Like knowledge pool. You get my drift. Culling the Weak was a Manosaurus too. Oh my goodness. We get with our Mystical Tutor, we can find our whole Dark Ritual and Culling the Weak. Unbelievable. Anyway, Mystical Tutor undoubtedly is hardcore busted. Very, very strong card. Definitely worthy of being banned. I don't know if we went over this one last time. Where is the OG? Necropotence! I am so surprised that this card is legal in Commander, since it has such a very harsh reputation in all the other formats. Triple black enchantment, skip your draw step. If you would discard a card from your hand, remove that card from the game instead. Like, who cares? Pay 1 life! Remove the top card of your library from the game face down. At the end of turn, put that card into your hand. You literally could just, like... If you can refill your hand of 7 cards, you could just draw 14 cards and then pick the best 7 to keep in your hand. Yeah, it danger. You know what's funny? Back in the day, they didn't even know if this was good. This was like the Siege Rhino at the time. It's like, who cares? And they play test with it. Oh my god, this thing's completely busted. Too good. And then it was a staple everywhere. And then it just slowly got banned and format after format after format. Banned in Extended, banned in Legacy, restricted in Vintage, somehow completely legal in Commander. Okay, there. You guys, it's a powerful format. What am I saying? What was it? The Winter of Magic? You know, there was a lot of powerful stuff back then, so it wasn't exactly the Winter of Magic. It's funny, sometimes Necropotence, these decks, they would still... Nah, it didn't really lose to anything, forget it. I wasn't there at the time, but like, like, everything was built around Necro. There were non-Necro decks, but this is still like one of the most busted thing. Inquest rated a 1 out of 5. Just goes to show how hard it is to evaluate cards, even back then. Even today, we can't evaluate cards properly. Blacklands Geo, and it's going to be reprinted in the upcoming Wilds of Eldraine extra sheet set complete with anime treatment. Oh, that's going to be cool. Are we going to get an anime Black Skullman? The cool Black Skullman? What is that symbol on his head? It's like some sort of anime symbol before there was anime. I think I used to have 20 or so of those. They'd be worth a lot of money if they were legal. That's the hard part about having cards. You need a card that's going to be really good, but not too good enough that it gets banned. The Black Summer, the Summer of Necro. I mean, the thing is, like, Necropotence saw tons of play even outside mono black decks. There were blue decks that played it. There were, like, once you realize, well, you just splash black and make use of Necropotence, then, you know, you're good to go. It's like, you have 20 life, you can draw 19 cards off of this damn thing. Think of the possibilities, people, the possibilities. And you can still do that in Commander. In Commander, you can draw 39 cards. And probably gain some life and draw the rest. It's beyond disgusting. And we have Jacob, who reminds us that Zur the Enchanter can tutor this damn thing. That's right, that's what Zur does, right? Zur the Enchanter. Not a Commander episode, but whenever it attacks your library for an enchantment, Mana Value Through, that is ridiculous. So for pre-modern, especially since they still have access to the rituals, and it doesn't matter what they have access to, this card in that card pool, I would put it at the highest. I think it's the strongest. Some people like to make the very weak argument that, well, you don't get the cards immediately. You get them at end of turn. Who cares? Like, you get the cards. It's a lot of cards. At the end of your turn, so you have to basically front the life on your turn. You get the cards at the end of your turn. I don't know how you survive after that. Yawgmoth's Bargain is a poor man's Necropotence. You see, some people think the other way around, though, Adrian. Some people think Yawgmoth's Bargain is actually a better Necropotence because you can get as many cards as you want. You get them immediately. I think Necropotence is better. But what do I know? All I know is it's easier to Dark Ritual a 3-mana spell on turn 1 than Dark Ritualing a 6-mana spell on turn 1. That's my logic, people, and I'm sticking by it. Toad says, back in 95, we didn't know about anything like these combos. No internet, just Scry magazine and word of mouth. Connecticut wasn't on the Magic Cutting Edge. What, you weren't on Pojo.com? I guess 95 is a little early. I think there was still, like net decking started around, like, 98. So in a few more years, yeah, the internet would have a big influence on card games. It's like Ad Nauseam, but a lot cheaper. Oh, yeah. Oh, you better believe it. You get to decide when you stop paying life. Well, yeah, I mean, Ad Nauseam is just a little bit more random in terms of how much life you lose. Yeah, Necropotence is greater than Yawgmoth's Bargain. That's a good debate for everybody. What do you guys think? Necropotence, Yawgmoth's Bargain? Which do you think is more powerful? Maybe in Commander, Necropotence is weaker. Like, there's so much fast mana in Commander that maybe Yawgmoth's Bargain's not that big of a deal to get out. And it has more impact. Necro's new art is on Scryfall. Is it? What, this one? Or is it this thing? This is ugly. Or is it this one? That's not bad. I could get behind this thing. Look at the Skullman Skull. It has returned. Dark Ritual's second best friend behind Doomsday. Is it? Doomsday, Necropotence, Doomsday, I guess. If you have the right cards, maybe it's Doomsday. You know, the thing I find about Doomsday is, like, Doomsday players can never, like, win on the spot. But you could say the same thing about Necropotence. But I think it's easy to counter Doomsday. I don't get it. I don't understand the hype around Doomsday. Braids, do we already check it? Is Braids even banned in this format? Braids isn't banned in this format. We're not talking about Commander. This is a pre-modern ban list. Dark Ritual loves Hypnotic Spectre. Well, maybe back in 93. So anyway, I think without a shadow of doubt, this card deserves to be stone cold banned and never brought up ever again. Now here's a weird card I do not understand whatsoever. A card called Rebirth. The hell is this? Green, 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 3 generic sorcery. Each player may be healed to 20 life. Any player choosing to be healed... Oh, Anti's an additional card from the top of his or her library. Remove Rebirth from your deck before playing, if not playing for Anti. Why are these cards even on the ban list? Like, you just mentioned at the top, no Anti cards. That's it. No. None. No gambling. No gambling allowed. That's already in the rules of Magic the Gathering. You can't gamble. You hear someone about gambling, gotta go, Judge! They're gambling! That's illegal! Wizards of the Coast is not a casino. Officially. Rebirth. Yeah, so anyway, this card is just... And if there were a tier list of power levels, at the bottom there would be like Anti, and then just put them in the Anti pile. I've never seen anyone play this card, even during the Anti time of frame. That's weird, because I know people love their life gain. Amulet of Quaz banned for the same reason, absolutely, yep. Ante up, people. Yeah, financial danger. It is a good thing, too. You know what? This game was marketed to, like teens and kids, I think, at the time. I don't know. But, you know, obviously, we were kids at one point. Introducing, like, Anti and gambling to kids, I think, is, like, terrible. That's what creates the fights on the playground. No one likes losing their stuff, even when you're 7 years old. We play Contract from Below, but not this. That's the only one worth playing. 1 mana Dark Ritual. Oh, sorry, no, 1 mana one-sided Wheel of Fortune. That's what that is. Adrian says, Storm is so fun, but so bad. If you can pull it off, you deserve the win. Really? Well, all the good cards are banned. Okay, so the next card up instead will be Strip Mine. We might have gone over a few of these in the last one because some people super chatted the cards into existence. For the longest time, I thought this was Chronicles. My friend made me aware that this is something called Anthologies. I have never heard of that. I have no idea what that is. Okay, Strip Mine. One of my favorite lands. I love lands. I love lands with abilities. This is tap, add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, or you blow up your opponent's land. Any land you want. It can be Gaia's Cradle, it can be Maze of Ith. It is the utility land of all utility lands to destroy your opponent's lands, including the basics. Basics are not safe. Even from Strip Mine. Strip Mine is crazy with Crucible Worlds. Crucible Worlds doesn't even exist in this format. Okay, this one is from Antiquities. Okay, here's one from 4th edition. Okay, it is pre-modern in the range. There you go. Are you happy now? Yeah, Antiquities doesn't make the cut to pre-modern, but 4th edition does. Heavy play back in the day. Why wouldn't they? Because it would just straight up blow them up. Heavy. Oh, who did play it anyway? Did everyone play like 4 Strip Mines? Was there a reason not to play 4 Strip Mines? Although I have to say the Strip Mine deck wouldn't do very well versus the Black Lotus Channel Fireball deck. With Moxins and so on. Pedgeman says, Wizard Coast is not a casino? Tell me how booster packs work again. I said it's not officially a casino, Pedgeman. I was hoping you would read between the lines, especially when I sort of quietly said that under my breath. You know, Wizard Coast, not a casino, okay? It's not a casino, you see? I'm blinking. Not a casino. Not. No. No gambling here. If it didn't make mana, it would still be busted. Yes. I mean, it's funny. You think of the strategies way back then. Blowing lands up was one of them, and they encouraged it. They encouraged it big time with like Strip Mine, Stone Rain. What was it called? Avalanche Ride. If I'm not mistaken, like this is an archetype in pre-modern as well. Avalanche Riders, Pillage. Go fashion, blow up all your lands. Pew 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 pew. Do I have something good here for that? No, that's not it. Nope. There we go. That's the best I got. So when you know you're up against, when you see the Stone Rain, or sometimes if you see a Jackal Pup, you knew what you were up against. You're in trouble. And Strip Mine would just added salt to injury. That's the saying, right? I think that's the saying. Yeah, they had Ravages of War. They made Armageddon, although they didn't have support. I mean, I don't think there was red-white Ponza back then. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it existed too. I'm gonna blow up all your lands, and if you somehow survive all this, then I'm gonna Armageddon them all away. They're all gone now. Lexus says, have gone through channel yet? The card, yeah, we went through that one. Maybe not today, but in part 1. What ways were there back then to return lands? Nothing! You play them off the top of your library. I think that was it. I don't think there was any good defense. I mean, outside, I mean, they eventually got rid of Strip Mine and replaced it with Wasteland, which was the fair Strip Mine. So now you could just play basics to play around it. And that was good. And even still sort of works in Legacy today. But I think we can all agree, you know, 0 mana, blow up your land. Not only that's not fun, it danger, all right? This card also at danger. How much did you pay for that Taiga? Probably not much. Taiga even today is not. If you want to get a Taiga, you can get it pretty cheap if you get it like heavily damaged, but still sleeve playable. Steve Cooper says, my Rakdos deck is kind of sweaty, but I draw the line at land destruction. Oh, yeah, okay. So, any of you Commander players, if you're scared of land destruction, well, don't go back in time and play Magic 30 years ago. You would hate it. It'd be absolutely miserable. Oh, is this going to be another anti card? If there's a card I don't know on this list, I'm just assuming it's an anti card. Tempest of Freet. Red, 1 generic for a 3/3. With a tap ability, choose card at random from target opponent's hand and put it into yours. Whoa! Whoa! This is the first card. I think this is the first and only card ever that I've seen that physically puts one of your opponent's cards into your hand. I've never read a card that lets you do that. That's the first time ever I've ever seen, like, basically cards get mixed with other cards. Okay, bury Tempest of Freet in opponent's graveyard. The change in ownership is permanent. Play this ability as an interrupt. Before you choose the card to be switched, the opponent may prevent effect by paying 10 life or conceding the game. Looking at Black Lotus in hand. Yeah, I'm going to concede the game. If this is done, bury Tempest of Freet effects that... How are you going to bury? I got to concede the game. The game is over. Effects that prevent or redirect damage cannot be used to counter this loss of life. Remove Tempest of Freet from your deck before playing, if not playing for Annie. This is not even an Annie card, though. We're not Annieing anything. I'm just swiping your cards. What's mine is mine. What's yours is also mine. Stage Disaster. I started playing in 98. My favorite decks were Mono Red Goblins and Mono Green Elves. I never used Strip Mine, but I did use the other color hoses. Had a blast. Oh, I have a super chat. Brian F. So sorry, this is really old one. In blue, sorcery speed equals bad. Source, I've been a blue player since 1996. I agree. Yeah, we don't play with a whole lot of blue. The only blue sorceries that have made the cut are basically like Ponder and Preordain. Now legal in Modern. All right, you guys excited for pre-modern? Well, I hope you are, because I want you to buy those cards from FusionGamingOnline.com. This is where I go to first look for my cards for any of my decks. And just a reminder, if you hate your formats getting rocked by all the new cards that come out in Commander and all this made straight for Modern and the powerful stuff they're putting into Standard that rocks Pioneer, you can always play Pre-Modern. It's a format that never changes, just the ban list. That's it. Whatever cards are in the card pool, it ends there. And it's actually the biggest reason that people go play Pre-Modern. And what is the deal of the week this week? It's not, I think, unless you have a few more minutes. All right, you have a few more minutes to get 15% off all Urza block singles, which are also pre-modern cards. Don't forget to use... Hold on, is Gaia's Cradle legal? Gaia's Cradle's legal in this format. That's ridiculous. Just realized Gaia's Cradle is legal in pre-modern. But they banned Hilarion Academy. How unfair. Anyway, you can support the channel using coupon code Nikachu to get an additional 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Become part of the pre-modern community. I have a link to their Discord in the description below. Also, you can play on Magic the Gathering Online, playing those pre-modern decks. Don't buy, rent using Mana Traders to play all the pre-modern that you could possibly want while still playing all the other formats. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_73V. And now back to these crazy, wild banned cards. If it's blue, shut it down. No. Give us more power. Max McCafel says, you ever seen pre-modern creatures? There's a reason Cradle isn't so bad. I don't care. If I can't have my, They banned also all the artifacts. They should probably also ban Mox Diamond too. I don't even... Why is that... That's a pretty powerful card. How does Mox Diamond make the cut? How does all these cards get banned, but Mox Diamond isn't of that power level? I don't get it. Okay, next up we go Tendrils of Agony. Scourge, probably this is the cutting point. Yeah, Storm players, Storm at danger. I don't think we don't have to really explain very much after that. Black 2 generic sorcery, target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I don't really know what they have to keep this whole thing going. Like, is there even a Storm deck? As it is? Maybe there is, and they just gave all the weakest Storm cards. It's basically it. Banned because of Storm. I'm curious if Squandered Resources is still banned. It is not. I don't see it here. Oh, but it is, anyway, it's not banned in pre-modern. It's called Tendrils because it only takes 10 drills to kill you. Yeah, that'll do it. Imagine any card and you put Storm on it. I'm just thinking, imagine my Silver Gilladept with Storm. Although I have to admit, it wouldn't be too bad actually. Even for a Storm count of 1, I get 2 2/1 creatures and draw 2 cards for 2 mana. That's absolutely broken. Maybe that could be a show idea. What if it had Storm? That would be a weird one. What if it had Storm? What if it had Dredge? What if? Yeah, that would be wild. Lion's Eye Diamond is so sad. Is it in this format? This guy needs a... The guy needs a hat. Maybe he did have a hat. It just got blown up. It just got popped off of its head. We literally have Crow Storm. Don't joke around with me here. Toilet Duck. Funny story. Scryfall doesn't list Tendrils of Agony as banned in any format. That is true. It looks like it's totally fair. It's like, it's just in all the other formats like Legacy, you just replace Tendrils of Agony with like Brain Freeze or something. There's other ways to win the game. It doesn't have to be with Tendrils. Although this is just the best. Like, this is just the best card to do it with. And also, it's convenient that it's black. Adrian says, pre-modern isn't recognized by Wizards of the Coast as an official format. Yet. There's a lot of formats that weren't recognized as an official format. They didn't even acknowledge CEDH for the longest time. Like, CEDH just is not a thing. Then all of a sudden, now they're handing out, like, spoiler cards to CEDH YouTube channels. Now they're hosting CEDH at, like, Command Fests and stuff. Before that, it's like, no, you guys don't exist. So anyway, if all it takes is a community to get large enough, and then they'll make it real. If it's organic and big enough, then it's real. Same thing, Popper. Popper was in the same way. It was just for them people playing with nickels and dimes, the freebie cards, bulk garbage, turning into a format. What a wild format that is as well. So hey, Tendrils of Agony. I really don't have much else to say about this card. Although I don't know. Let's say you unban this. What does the deck look like? Do they have all the enablers? They have a handful of rituals, not a lot of great card draw, but maybe they have enough. I don't know, maybe they have enough. All the tutors are banned. If Commander had a sideboard, CEDH would be a viable format. I think it's a viable format as is. Well, it needs more than rituals, because you need to dig enough into your deck to like really go off, and you don't even have ad nauseum in the format. Like, because like you could ritual like say 5 times Tendrils of Agony. But that's only like 10 damage, you gain 10 life, and then like how do you deal the last 10 damage? Bolus' Citadel, Paradox Engine. This is not Commander, this is pre-modern. Pre-modern don't have them cards. Okay, Adrian says Turnabout, Lotus Petal. Oh yeah, they got Lotus Petal. I don't get, doesn't it make sense to ban those? Like they banned the tutors. I guess this is just, I was given the explanation that they banned Force of Will because they didn't want to turn the format into Legacy Light. But, like, they've got all these other cards, like LED and Lotus Petal. You have Time Spiral, for crying out loud. Dark Ritual. It is still Legacy Light. Give me my Force of Will. Damn it. What an unjustly banned card. Okay, anyway. But this format has the, it's harsher on the... It's a lot harsher on the win conditions than like answers, but anyway, that's how this format works. Okay, next up we got, oh no, Time Spiral's banned. Okay, so Time Spiral not legal. Legal in Legacy, but not legal in pre-modern. Blue for generic sorcery. Remove Time Spiral from the game. Each player shuffles his or her graveyard and hand into his or her library, then draw 7 cards. You untap up to 6 lands. This card's awesome! I love this card. It's Time Twister. It's Time Twister, but for 6 mana. And you get to untap all your lands. So it's like a basically free draw 7. And you don't even tap out. I gotta get this in my commander deck. This thing's wild. Is this CEDH playable, or is it just pointless because like in CEDH you have more mana rocks than you have lands in play, so you don't even get that payoff of untapping 6 lands. Love this art, very glaverful. I don't know what that means. Does the storm mechanic work on the stack or only or all spells played on a player's turn? Only spell, what the hell does that mean? So the storm triggers when the storm card hits the stack, but then it only counts all the cards actually cast between both players. Time Spiral High Tide is a high you should experience at least once. Well, you can in Cube, right? It restarts your turn mid-turn. That's right. Yes, but imagine a board state with no graveyard/hand, maybe via 2x Paradigm Shift or similar. Oh, it's interesting actually. Yeah, you get rid of your graveyard. This with Tolarian Academy. Oh yeah, this is good stuff. Oh man, I wish I got to experience that back in the summer of what, 2000 or 1999. That Urza's block looks like a high that if you were on, you probably never got again because of the power level of these decks. They had like turn 1 decks in standard or turn 2 decks in standard. That's crazy. Thanks to nonsense like this. So anyway, Time for Spiral. I have no doubt, again, this is just... I guess they don't like combo. It's funny, they keep, you know, force a will, they're gonna ban it. So if they're gonna ban, like, the ultimate answer, all this nonsense, then they have to ban the rest of the nonsense as well. So yeah, Time Spiral kicks the bucket. Too strong. I admit that one's too strong. The hell is this? Temerian Fiends! It's an anti-card, isn't it? Black, 1 generic. We've seen this one before. Remove Temerian Fiends from your deck before playing, if not playing for anti. It's a 1/1 for triple black. Sack it to bury target artifact that any opponent owns in your graveyard? Hold on, what? To bury target artifact that any opponent owns in your graveyard. I'm burying something that's already there? Put Temerian Fiends into that opponent's graveyard. Oh, so I'm burying, so I basically take the card in their graveyard, put it in my grave, it gets buried in my graveyard. I'm digging you up from your graveyard, you're coming to my graveyard. This change in ownership is permanent. The opponent may ante an additional card to counter this effect. It's just, yeah, ante, a danger, shred it. We're shredding this thing instantly. Badly written, but bury it into your graveyard, exactly. It says you bury something into yours. Yeah, it takes a little while to wrap my head around exactly what's going on, but we figured it out. You get it after the game. No, hold on. No, I get it immediately. I could reanimate it. Whatever it is. What is it? Target. It's just an artifact, too. I want that Black Lotus. Back then, Temerian Fiends must have been absolutely bust. Like, you're up against a Temerian Fiends deck. I guess I'm trying to think. If you played with all your Moxen and Black Lotuses, and you're up against a Temerian Fiends deck, turn 1, Black Lotus, Temerian Fiends, steal your, and you, like, it's not like you can even sack the Black Lotus on the battlefield. You're taking it from the graveyard, and if you want to counter the effect, you gotta ante up more cards. Keep it coming. And if you lose, I get everything. Winner takes all, buddy. Who thought ante was a good idea back then? It was probably never a good idea. You ante face down, who knows? It could be oh, that's right. It could be anything. Homelands had a lot of heavy hitters. Are you kidding us? What if adventure? What if partner? What if, oh, you're giving us some good ideas. Oh yeah. What if mutate? What if typo? What if gravestorm? I don't know about that one. It's just just an artifact. Mox and Lotus gone. Yeah, the most busted cards. Anyway, yeah, okay. We have more cards to look at on this list. Okay, I think we looked at this one last week. We can look at it again because it's beautiful. It's Tolarian Academy. Am I right, fellas? I want to hear all my mono blue mages here. The Academy. Tap, add a blue to your mana pool for each artifact you control. The Academy worked with time until time ran out. And one of his, like, the professor should play, like, a pure, I don't know, Tudor Academy style deck with a bunch of, like, I don't know, Tolarian Skull, like vintage. Put vintage once for his, shuffle up and play episodes. And he plays, like a pure Academy style deck. It's all knowledge and all Academy flavored cards. It's gotta be flavorful. It's gotta bring the Academy onto the show. So the YouTube channel is called Tolarian Academy, for crying out loud. We need to find the ban list for pre-modern. It's called Google. I found one, but I don't think it's right. It's you go to premodernmagic.com. And then they have a little tab at the top. It's called ban list or ban cards. No, ban list. You'll find it. Affinity players want this card to be legal. A lot of people want this card to be legal. Yeah, the artifact players want it legal. The affinity players want it legal. It's the guy's Cradle of Artifacts. No, they both came out at the same time, right? So I can't say it's the guy's Cradle of Artifacts or the Tolarian Academy of Creatures. Keep this out of your merfolk hands. Truth be told, like, merfolk can't use this card. There are merfolk players that they just force themselves to use it because it's like the only, but it's terrible. I guess it'll add some mana if you play with like Chalice of the Void and ether vial. But anyway, there are so many artifacts still, like between Mox Diamond and Lotus Petal and many other even crappier artifacts that you can play. There was a lot of zero mana artifacts back then that Tolarian Academy absolutely cannot be. It's not a safe card in pre-modern whatsoever. I don't know what deck would be built around this thing, but make no mistake, this thing would be just downright busted. Maybe with Emery too? Yeah, maybe. It should add a blue for each artifact your opponents control? That's just weird. Then you can't force it to do anything. Or oh, maybe that's a commander card that they could make. That is interesting. How about that design? Like, I don't know, the Academy, I don't know how you describe this card. Like a Tolarian Academy that adds a blue for every artifact your opponents control. It's like almost like Dockside. Well, it'd probably become another Dockside card. Basically punishing people for ramping with artifacts. Take notes, Wizards. Yeah, just another way to punish people for playing Sol Ring on turn 1. Finally, being on turn, being the person who starts the game on, being the 4th person to start turn 1 pays off. The Tolarian dropouts. Yeah, Dockside Extortionist Land. You can use repeatedly every turn. Yeah, actually, that would still be broken. Like, it'd still be broken. Doesn't matter. You can't fix Tolarian Academy. Too strong. Too strong. Anyway, it's stone cold busted. Vampiric Tutor. This card. We just said how Mystical Tutor is too strong. Well, this card is like worse. So again, it's a 1 mana instant speed tutor. You have to pay 2 life. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Search your library for any 1 card. Instant sort. Now we can get our lands. You can get mana sources, but you can literally get lands with this card. Shuffle your library, then put that card on top of your library. Artifact, enchantment, plane. Well, there's no planeswalkers in pre-modern, but in modern day, you can get the planeswalker. Any new card types? Look, this card scales better as time goes on, as they make new cards. New card types to go get. Vampiric Tutor, aka the better Mystical Tutor. Exactly. Mystical Tutor, hold my beer. You can tutor for anything. I say, in my opinion, this card is better than Imperial Seal. I think you're right. What a nice vampire. Does he teach algebra or what? Oh yeah, that's true. The Vampiric Tutor. They're learning? I don't even know what are they even doing here? This looks like some sort of Ben Kenobi Skywalker moment of some sort, but I don't know exactly what's happening. It's like, okay, I'm holding this spool of thread behind you, and here's a cup. Here is the chalice. The chalice of something. Stare at it quickly, because you might have to cut it with your blade. Okay, hold on, maybe the flavor text will explain. I write upon clean white parchment with a sharp quill and the blood of my students divining their secrets. Means nothing. Yeah, you can even you can even tutor for a Tolarian Academy. Bites you then teaches you. The chalice of coffee. Yeah, the chalices of coffee. That's what the Vampiric Tutor's tutoring for. Tutoring for a Starbucks. Frappuccino. His facial expression is truly bizarre. Yeah, no doubt. Anyway, like 1 black, tutor for anything you want would help every deck. I think it would be interesting if you unban this card, does every deck splash black to get access to it? Because it's just that busted. 1 mana, go get anything in your deck, put it back on top. That's broken. Absolutely broken. All right, next up we got Windfall. That is a funny, why? Okay, now I don't get it. Okay, it's a blue 2 generic. Each player discards his or her hand and draws cards equal to the greatest number of player discard this way. I mean, I guess if you play this in a deck that can spew your hand out as quickly as possible. Okay, it's banned in Legacy, so it probably should be banned in Pre-Modern. Pre-Modern still has too many like cheap cards to enable this thing. So yeah. I wonder if there's a fair way to use this, like a blue burn. Burn your opponent down with a bunch of burn spells, windfall a few extra cards into your hand, then burn them down with that. Are Type 1, 1.5, and 2 considered pre-modern? No! Type 2 is standard. It would be considered Type 1 without revised or earlier. I actually don't know where the limits are. It's basically an old border format, but without revised or earlier. Pre-modern hates draw 7. Yeah, draw 7 is, well, I don't blame them. Traumatized would be a better card if it was legal. Just unban it, and we will all promise not to use it in a degenerate way. What is the degenerate way? Like, I guess they have. Do they have brain freeze? Does that still exist? Brain freeze. Like, what is like the storm combo? Oh, they do have brain freeze. Okay, so there's one. Okay, I propose this. You ban all the storm cards, like you ban Annie. Just get rid of all of it. And then you give us Windfall and maybe a few other cool cards that draw a bunch of stuff. In my opinion. Well, you know, I don't know if it's fair. Like, I could see a world where you, like maybe an Elves player spews their hand out really quickly. Maybe that's a bad example, but an Elves player, and then they Windfall to get more cards and then repaste them, like, splat them onto the battlefield. I'm just trying to think some deck that can like spew their hand out really quickly, then Windfall on turn 3 to refill their hand because their opponent could not spew their hand out nearly as fast. Like, you can do things like that. You can spew your hand out pretty fast and stuff like Mox Diamond and Lotus Petal. Empty your hand, turn 1, then get all the cards back. Exactly. And then it would be like and then if you're in the Windfall mirror, it's like whoever goes first has a huge advantage because you'll have like 2 hands versus your opponent who only has 1. Stage Disaster. Sounds like you're a Legacy player. Leave my Storm cards alone. Recall used to be banned. What do you mean used to be banned? It is banned. Ancestral Recall? Okay, so, okay, I'm not certain, but I'll assume that this card is ban-worthy. Okay, here's a weird one. I don't know if I agree with this one. World Gorger Dragon. Red, 3 generic for a 7/7 Nightmare Dragon, flying trample. When it comes into play, remove all other permanents you control from the game. When World Gorger Dragon leaves play, return the removed cards to play under their owner's control. Why? Why, like, if you reanimate, are they just preventing it to just draw, like, prevent draws? Because I know you can draw the game with this. But that's it. That's all it does. I don't think that's a very powerful effect. I don't even know if this is even easy to make use. Like, a lot of the good tutors are gone. Combos with Dance of the Dead. Well, you still need Dance of the Dead in play. I don't even know if Dance of the Dead is even legal in this. Is that a new card? Dance of the Dead. Oh, it does combo. All right. It do combo. It work. Entomb, Reanimate. Yeah, I know. It can infinite mana turn 2 consistently. Can it? Like, how consistent is that? I call BS. Because the thing is, like, Entomb, Reanimate, those are only 2 cards. Like, that's it. Like, Legacy, or how many, then ban Entomb. It's weird to have or I guess they want to have Reanimator as an archetype. We want Reanimator as an archetype. But hold on, if you have Reanimator as an archetype, then why can't you have World Gorger Dragon as one of the win conditions? Even though, like, it's technically not even a win condition by itself. It requires, like, another card to actually win the game. Is Entomb banned? I'll go take a look. It is banned. So Entomb is banned, so that's not even part of the discussion. I think this card is not a problem. I think they're just trying to prevent some weird, janky board states and maybe prevent draws. But, like, power-wise, this is not powerful in a competitive format. I say F it. You let World Gorger Dragon live. There's a lot of cards on this ban list that are really strong in, like, format warping. World Gorger Dragon is not one of them. I mean, you can even look... Look at the ban list of, like, Legacy and Vintage. It's perfectly legal. Have as many World Gorger Dragons as you want. Bring on more World Gorger Dragons. It's not even going to do anything. It's just going to stare at you a million times. Banning this is like banning Flash instead of Hulk. It's not, but no, but like the thing is, those two cards break the game. Like you win the game on the spot. This plus reanimation spell does nothing. You basically get caught in a loop that goes absolutely nowhere. Just staring at each other for, I don't know, until you decide, like, okay, we're gonna draw out the game. You need something in play in order, you need some sort of ETB to do something. And if you don't have that third card, then this technically does absolutely nothing. Doesn't World Gorger Dragon with basically any board wipe? It combos with any ETB, but you need that ETB. Also, you then need some way to stop the loop if that ETB doesn't actually kill your opponent. Banned for degenerateness. I don't even know why it's banned. The pre-modern community would love to speak up. Well, where's Liquid Soulfly? What do you want to say? If you can WD World Gorger Dragon into the graveyard early, then this goes infinite really fast. Yeah, but if. Well, first off, Entomb is banned. And again, like, it goes infinite, but it doesn't go infinitely winning. It just goes infinitely infinite into infinity, which goes nowhere. Anyway, I think this card should be perfectly legal. I think this is not a very powerful card. It's a very, whatever, it's a card. Alright, speaking of Necropotence 20 minutes ago, take another quick look at Yawgmoth's Bargain. Supremely broken. It's a black 4 generic enchantment. Skip your draw step. That is an easy price to pay. Pay 1 life, draw a card. He craves only 1 commodity. Card draw. Same thing as all blue players, really. Blue and black players have that one thing in common. We just want card draw. We just don't want to draw some cards, damn it. And we want to pay life for it. We will pay life for cards. Bandit says, World Gorger may make tournaments last too long if people are playing too many games. That's true. That's possible. But, like, you could say the same thing about, like, Legacy. But it doesn't happen. If you reanimate it on turn 2, then you have a 7/7 on turn 2. It would only exile your lands? Oh, you mean just reanimate the thing in general? Well, whatever. That's Reanimator. That's how Reanimator works. You can get a you can get that Stifle Knot guy. This Phyrexian Dreadnought in play on turn 2 is Stifle by turn 2. Okay, I don't really have much to say about this card. This card is broken. Beyond broken. I think we talked about it in the part 1 anyway. So then we'll move on to the last cards banned in pre-modern. It is Yawgmoth's Will. The Will Yawgmoth. Ooh, I call it Yawgmothy. Yawgmothy's Will. Is this really Yawgmoth? Looks very different from the card that we have in modern these days. Black 2 generic sorcery. Until end of turn, you may play cards in your graveyard as though they were in your hand. Cards put into your graveyard this turn are removed from the game instead. Again, more anti-storm hate. Anti-combo hate. Now this card is just beyond stupid. It is dumb. You may play cards. You can play the cards in your graveyard as though they were in your hand. Oh, but I think you have to cast the cards. Cards put in your graveyard this turn are removed from the game instead. It doesn't. You do have to pay. You gotta pay mana. But you know what? You will pay that mana because you still want them cards. Most of the cards you're gonna be bringing back are gonna be like 0 or 1 mana cards anyway, or rituals that will get you the mana to pay for your bigger stuff. I think it's just a random creature in the art, as Garfield intended. A lot of the art back then was completely random. That's for sure. What if it had suspend? Yeah, I think you could make it work if it had suspend. I think that would work. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I think you give anything like 4 turns. You give everyone like 4 turns heads up, it's playable. It's just that it just guarantees that no one's popping off with this like thing on turn 1 or turn 2. Yawgmoth Delayed Will. Yeah, exactly. That's how you could have it. Alright, so this card, definitely bannable. In fact, all future cards like this, like Underworld Breach, they are always referenced as a Yawgmoth's Will. It's just red Yawgmoth's Will, or this Yawgmoth's Will. You play anything from your graveyard, it's Yawgmoth's Will. Oh, another what if series? Hold on, wait, what was your... What if? What was your suggestion, Erland? I can't... You gotta put it all in one sentence. Oh, I don't know where it is. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed everything. If you're interested in pre-modern, I got a link to the Discord, the pre-modern community in the description below. You could also look at premodernmagic.com. Again, for all the people who are frustrated with Magic the Gathering, pumping tons of cards into your formats, shaking it up beyond belief. If you want a format that is stale beyond belief, it is not going anywhere, sometimes they'll just change the ban list, then maybe pre-modern is the format for you. And as usual, I gotta thank all of you for showing up today. Thank you for, and if you want to be part of the show, you got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you very much for everyone who supports the channel, the patrons, the members on YouTube, and the people who super chat to become part of the show. So thank you, and also thanks everyone who shows up in the morning. Oh, we got some 124C, Liquid Soulfly, Manas, Adrian, Johnny W for Life, Markzilla, Toads, Jacob. We've got Adrian, Rob Boy, we got Name, the name above all other names, Mr. Deadhead, Pinoy, we got Tommy Siddons, Reunion. As usual, my coffee crew, you're the ones that makes the show, so as you keep brewing up them coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.